Sarah had only taken one sip when she heard it, a soft, low growl behind her, close enough to warm the back of her neck. She turned slowly. Two silver-eyed predator cubs stood in the hallway, their bodies half in shadow, watching her with unsettling focus. They weren't wolves. They weren't cats. They weren't anything listed in the research station's database. Too smooth, too aware, too synchronized, like they shared a single mind. She stepped back. The water cooler hummed quietly, filling the hallway with its blue glow. And then, to her shock, one cub walked past her and nudged the lever with its paw. Water rushed down the spout. The second cub bent its head, drinking calmly, like it had been doing this for years. Sarah's heart pounded.
How did they know how to use it?
Why did they only appear when she approached the cooler? And why did their eyes look less like animals, and more like something studying her? Every night after, at exactly 3 a.m., they returned, waiting for her, following her, drinking beside her. The next night, Sarah tried to avoid the hallway entirely. She told herself she didn't need water, didn't need to pass that humming cooler, didn't need to feel those silver eyes following her. But at 3 a.m. sharp, something tapped gently on her cabin door. Not a paw, not a knock. Something in between. She froze. The tap came again, soft, rhythmic, intentional. She opened the door just enough to see outside, and her stomach tightened. The two cubs sat there silently, their pale fur glowing under the moonlight, staring at her as if waiting for her to lead them. When she didn't move, the larger cub turned its head toward the research building, then back to her, then toward the building again. A signal, a request, or maybe a warning. Against every instinct, she followed them. Inside, the hall lights flickered as if reacting to the creature's presence. The cubs walked calmly, confidently, until they reached the water cooler. But tonight they didn't drink. Tonight they stared at Sarah, both of them, unblinking, as if urging her to drink first. When she lifted the cup, both creatures leaned closer. Their pupils narrowed to slits. Their breathing stopped. They watched the water pour like it meant everything. Sarah felt a chill slide across her spine. They weren't following the cooler. They were following her. Sarah didn't sleep after that night. She couldn't. The way the cubs watched her, not like an animal watches prey, but like a student watches a teacher, kept replaying in her mind. By the next evening, she had made a decision. She needed to test them. At 3 a.m., she walked to the cooler before they could come looking. The hallway was empty, humming softly. For a moment, she wondered if they wouldn't show. Then both cubs stepped out of the darkness at the exact same time, like they had been waiting for her cue. No sound, no footsteps, just presence. Sarah held out her hand. The smaller cub approached first, its movement smooth, almost too controlled. Instead of sniffing her like an animal, it pressed its forehead lightly against her palm. Warm, steady, intentional. A connection. A message. A soft vibration traveled through her hand, like a pulse that wasn't hers. Startled, she pulled back, and both cubs' eyes flashed the same pale blue as the cooler's light. They turned suddenly and walked away, expecting her to follow. She did. They led her past the labs, past the radio room, toward the old storage wing, a place no one used anymore. And then they stopped at a metal door she had never seen unlocked. The larger cub looked back at her and gave a sound she had never heard before. Not a growl, not a whine, a whisper. A sound, too. Intelligent. Sarah's hand shook as she reached for the locked door. She didn't know why she expected it to open, but when she touched the handle, the metal clicked softly as if it had been waiting for her. Inside, the room was dark and cold. Dust floated in the narrow beam of moonlight slipping through a cracked window. Old research crates lined the walls, untouched for years. But the cubs ignored everything. They walked straight to the far corner and sat down, staring at a single wooden box. Sarah approached slowly. The box was marked with faded red ink, almost unreadable. But one word still stood out clearly. Specimen. Her breath caught. She knelt and opened it. Inside wasn't an animal. Not a skull. Not fossils. It was a device, metallic, smooth, shaped like a stone but humming faintly, with the same pulse she had felt through the cubs. As she touched it, the cubs came closer, their eyes glowing brighter, reflecting the same soft blue inside the device. And suddenly the truth hit her like a wave. These cubs weren't guarding the object. They were connected to it, Maybe created by it, maybe born from it. A warm vibration spread up her arm, gentle but powerful, filling her with a message she didn't understand. A feeling more than language. Trust, danger, time. Then the smaller cub stepped forward and pressed its head against her hand again. Firmer this time. Its eyes locked onto hers with a single unmistakable meaning. You're part of this now. Sarah backed away, heart racing, understanding only one thing. These cubs had never followed the water cooler. They had followed the only person in the station who could sense the device the way they did, and whatever created them wasn't finished. If you found a device that connected to mysterious creatures, would you keep it or destroy it? Tell me below. And do you think these cubs were warning Sarah? Or choosing her? Comment your theory